Hey, and welcome back to Sheen Webisodes. I'm your host, Afreed, and we are here in the city, New York City, at DUMBO, at Pop-Up Shop, and we are with...
Precious Plastic NYC.
And...
Same. We are partners in the same organization.
Beautiful.
I'm Gary Dusek. This is Nick Pearl. Precious Plastic NYC is our endeavor. We take waste plastic from the streets, from organizations, and from local businesses. We transform that waste into all the products that you see on the table.
Right, that's awesome. I mean, that what caught me. First question that I wanted to ask, how much plastic waste is every day or yearly we're getting in New York City?
That's a tough one. I think it's around, I want to say 40,000 tons.
Wow.
Yearly?
Annually.
Yeah. I mean, I think it goes into like 50 million pounds a day or something ridiculous like that. Maybe I'm exaggerating. 5 million pounds a day?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't, statistically,
Right.
I don't know, but I can tell you that it is a lot.
It's
Right,
an insane amount.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
The truth is it's really hard to actually document exactly how much because all we can document is what has been collected. So if they're telling us it's only 20% that has been collected,
Oh, wow.
then we don't really know the scope of it. We can only know what's been taken in, like either by our organization or circular services.
Yeah,
Right.
and if it ends up in landfill, it's not being tracked in the same way.
And that is just from New York City.
Correct.
Is that including the 5 boroughs or just the city?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's all. That's all
That's
5
all.
boroughs. Yeah.
Once you get the plastic that you collected, what you do after?
So we collect.
What
We
is the
collect
process?
it. We clean it.
Okay.
We sort it by plastic type.
Okay.
So there's 1 through 7. We predominantly work with number 2, which is HDPE, high density polyethylene,
Okay.
which is a soft. It's still a hard plastic, but it's a little bit softer. It's very resilient. This is what a lot of like outdoor furniture is made out of, or like kitty toys.
Look at this. Okay.
And then number 5 is our other favorite, which is polypropylene. So
Which
it's a
one?
hard plastic.
Okay. Is that a cup?
Yes,
Type
so
or-
most of like food packaging and to-go containers are number 5 plastic. That's why we feel okay with giving you something that you can consume water.
What does it mean,
juice
number
out of.
5 plastic?
It's
Polypropylene.
polypropylene, but it's there's the numbers of plastic 1 through 6, and then number 7 is basically all the other plastics grouped into one.
Yeah. But we predominantly work with number 2 or number 5 because they're the most plentiful in the waste stream. They're also not very desirable in terms of economically by larger scale recyclers.
Okay.
Number 1 actually really is. PET is water bottle material.
Yeah.
That material is actually very desirable, mostly due to legislation of minimum recycled content. So actually they pay a hefty CRV value for that particular plastic.
Right.
Whereas number 2 and number 5 are not so avidly, they're much cheaper in the waste stream.
I see.
So it's less profitable for larger scale to actually collect it.
So how much resources it takes to recycle plastic? Because a lot of people say, because I'm in this and I'm spreading the word, and a lot of objections I get from the people that it takes more resources to recycle what we have instead of make a new piece. So is there any truth behind it, or is it more beneficial?
There is some truth to it, only in the sense that the disposal paradigm is enabled by the economic system. So if you think about waste as a whole, in particular plastic waste, petrochemical is subsidized by the government. Also, the companies producing the plastic don't pay for any of the environmental damage that the plastic causes. We pay for it as taxpayers.
100%. Yeah.
So what happens, what that's called is an externalized cost.
Yeah.
There's also all kinds of other economic enabling that's going on that makes new plastic cheaper than recycled plastic. So if you had to pay the actual cost of all the environmental damage that's caused over hundreds of years by plastic, it would no longer be that way. That paradigm would shift.
Right.
And that plastic would actually be extremely expensive to produce.
Right.
And how do you quantify the damage that's been caused, like
Yeah.
monetarily? Right?
100%.
Right.
Because most of the plastic that's ever been produced still exists in the environment.
Yeah.
So it keeps causing damage. Like you're paying rent on that plastic for hundreds of years, actually, right? So the reason I would say, yes, it is more labor to reclaim the plastic than to produce it again.
Right.
But that's only because I reclaim it.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's more labor for me, yes, because I could just buy some plastic or I could reclaim it, right? Overall, systemically, it's about the same amount of resources. If you take new plastic, if you had to produce the new plastic rather than purchasing it,
Yeah.
it would be about the same amount of resources and actually takes up less energy to reclaim it.
Yeah.
I think another aspect is that the cheap plastic is already mass produced. We have artisanal production. So if we could scale this up, suddenly the cost of production and the safety and the efficacy of it all
With a
would be
larger,
way better.
right?
And then we could be more comparable to the virgin plastic that's coming from China, where, you know, it's huge warehouses with insane machinery that are doing that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we essentially use the same process. We just take care of the entire circle rather than just an aspect. So industrialization, the way that works and the way that things get cheaper is because it's division of labor. There's one specialized factory that takes in the plastic, then there's another specialized factory that shreds the plastic, and then there's another, there's a processing facility that pelletizes the plastic, and then the company just buys that plastic, and because each thing is only doing one thing.
Exactly.
It's efficient in the sense of cost effective to a certain degree, but actually if you analyze it, it's not that, but it is.
Yeah, when we look at the bigger picture.
If you look at the bigger picture, it's not necessarily, and we use the same process, we just happen to take care of the whole circle, right? So we also manufacture stuff, but we also produce the raw material.
I see.
So for us, it's very laborious and it's very costly to do that in New York City.
Can you
But
come closer and show the stuff, please?
that's kind of why we've always focused on artisanal products. We've focused on kind of heirloom objects and like sculpture and art where the value is high.
Yeah.
That's where we started, and that's where we've been able to sustain ourselves.
Right.
As we scale up and automate things, and as we do different things with the process and figure it out, economic sustainability,
Right.
which is actually our primary mission, is to figure out the economic sustainability point of it, actually.
Yeah.
Because everything else is going to take care of itself. Environmental sustainability is going to take care of itself because we're already doing that work, right? But what isn't figured out is actually the economic viability and the economic sustainability of this, because it's still pretty new. Like circular manufacturing is not something that's been a primary focus of a lot of businesses, right?
So how long you been this business?
I started doing this in 2016, but as an official business, 2019, and we actually just incorporated this year as a S corp.
So when you started this, what was up to your mind when you started this?
That's a good question. I think, so I like the fact that social function is built into the practice of reclamation. So it's environmental justice, it's sustainable, it's economic environmental justice, it's looking at economic justice and like all of those things, but I don't have to say any of that. It's all built into the material. Just by doing the practice of the material, I don't have to say any of that, which I believe it's more, I don't want to say it's more authentic, it's more direct. Like I don't have to contrive of a connection between those things.
Right.
Like it's already built into the material. Like we know that waste disproportionately ends up in poorer neighborhoods.
Right.
We know that this is a resource that people could be utilizing. We know that the waste system and the economic system of large petrochemical is exploitative, right?
Right.
So just by doing this practice, we're fighting against all of that.
Exactly.
Without having to say any of that. Because it's demonstrated, it's embodied in the material.
As long as you take the first section, that all that matters. I have a big audience from New York City, and you're especially targeting and doing locally in New York City. What tips or you wanted to share with the New York City audience that they could do better so we can reduce the amount of plastic that we use in our daily lives?
Good. If I think one of the most important things is individual responsibility, basically. Everybody takes responsibility over their own waste stream, tries to be mindful of like using plastic cutlery or refusing that plastic bag. You know, each person doing their part will completely change this whole situation. It's not something that can actually be solved by somebody else. It has to be solved by us. We have to address it every day. So save your plastic. Think about the types of plastic. Think about maybe not using that plastic fork. And if you do, save it. Save all your plastic forks and bring them to us. We'll process them and make new things out of it. We tell people, because there's plenty of plastic hoarders, people that really care about the environment but just don't know what to do with it. We tell them, hold on to it. After 6 months, if you've collected enough, you can come and bring it to us. And
beautiful. How people can reach you out?
Sorry?
How people can reach you out?
We have an Instagram, Precious Plastic NYC. At Instagram, and we have a website, preciousplastic.nyc.
Is this a website? There's a Venmo.
You can take this. This is a QR code, and all the info is there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think another thing to keep in mind, we focus on generally like what's not in the recycling stream, i.e. like soft plastics, like those hangers are made out of plastic bags, for example.
Oh, wow.
So thinking about things that might not end up in the waste stream, or that are in the waste stream but that won't end up in recycling. Actually, plastic bags never are recycled here in New York City. They only recycle hard plastics.
Okay.
So be mindful of like the type of plastic that you're consuming, but also put it in the right place. Like if you put a plastic bag in the recycling bin, that's not the right place for it, actually, unfortunately. Right?
That's what I was coming to.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and of course I get to know from the community, they say that wherever sometimes you're putting the stuff on, like you think that you're going to be donating, or maybe you're thinking that you trust that organization that they're going to recycle it, and at the end of the day, they don't do it.
Yeah.
So first of all, how can we get to know? Is there any way that people can find out that, we can't trust that, or there's a thing that we need to look at first to trust that organization?
Well, it's much easier if you're local. Like you can come up to our factory in the Bronx and watch us doing this all day. So.
Okay.
Right. None of our process is hidden. That's the thing.
Wow. So it's open for public? I mean, on appointments?
By appointment, yeah. I mean, it's a working studio, but yeah, you can
I don't think you want to get people in Bronx, right?
So if anybody donates plastic to us, the first donation, obviously it has to be quite a bit of plastic, comes with a free studio tour.
Wow. How much plastic?
Make sure you're washing your plastic. If you bring it to us, make sure you wash it and that it's kind of sorted by plastic type if possible.
Okay. Wow, that was awesome. So I believe that's all we got. Thank you very much. It was wonderful meeting with you guys. Thank you a lot.